Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of What the Effie. And today you are all in for a great treat. I have Nathaniel with me, and Nathaniel is a very special person. Nathaniel, thank you for coming on What the Effie
Thank you
again.
for having me again. Yeah, I appreciate it.
It's interesting now that I'm in the third year, I have a few repeats. You guys should know that those repeats are really special. Anyways, thank you so much. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. As we were talking, I've been a little bit under the weather this Thanksgiving week. That go figure. That's kind of what typically happens. But I'm on the upward tick there.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
really great. That's where we want to be. That's where we want
Yes.
to be. Now, the since forever, since I've known you, you've always been, besides being in real estate, you've been a mindset type of person,
hmm
which I really appreciate because I am too. I believe very much in holding myself accountable and trying to become better in helping and growing. None of those things are really easy. Even helping isn't easy because sometimes the person who needs the help is not someone that you really want to help.
Yeah.
It's like you were, but
Yeah.
anyways, the point being that mindset is for you're on one or the other side of the teeter totter on mindset. I think you're either strong and you're pushing and you're working, or you're needing some help.
Mm-hmm.
And, we can be kind of level, but a lot of times we're one way or the other. Talk to me about what you're doing and what you're up to.
Yeah, you know, I can second and third and fourth that for sure is that mindset it's everything. And whether you're talking about real estate investing or your health, if you don't have that in the right space, you're not going to be able to be successful. And, we both come from the sub two community, the greatest real estate community on earth, and Pace, Morby, and all the other leaders inside that community. They can give you all the knowledge and the tactics and the know-how and the techniques and all that. How many different ways can I say techniques? But if you don't believe that you are the person that can accomplish this, if you don't believe that these things are going to work, you're not going to be successful in it. And so, long story short, one of the things that I'm doing right now as we head into the new year is a boot camp, if you will. I'm calling it a reforge. To
Reforge.
reforge, yes, I try
Nice.
to make it a little manly. It's men that I'm coaching. I'm a health and wellness coach for men, and let's make it a little bit, I don't know, masculine kind of feeling. And so we
I
call
love
it a
it.
reforge, going back to the basics. And it's more than just mindset, what we're working on, habits as a whole when it comes to health and wellness. It is mindset, it's nutrition, it's movement, it's time management, it's value building. And so for 21 days leading up to 2026, we're going to do something new every single day. And it's going to be
Awesome.
a 2 to 5 minute video where I break down a subject and then essentially give you homework. Hey, go do this today. And think like, 15 to 30 minutes each day, where it's like, this is getting you to progress. Because what I found is, depending on the study that you see, 80% of people that make a New Year's resolution, make a goal for the new year, have quit within 2 weeks.
I've heard that myself. I know. I
Yeah,
know.
that's incredible to me. And what I realize is because they don't have the mindset, they don't have the habits, right? They haven't become the person that accomplishes these new goals. We've come from Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, and then all of a sudden we're going to lose 30 pounds this year.
No, no, 35.
Yeah, 35. That's right. Yeah. And I'm going to do it by March 1st. And you're like, well, everything leading up to this has shown me that you're not the person that does that. So let's become the person that does that. And then come January 1st, I mean, it's going to start before January 1st because we're starting on December 10th, right? 21 days.
Nice.
But yeah, that's it. I think
That's
that's long story
that's
short.
a very smart way of looking at it. It's a very smart way of looking at it because when you think about who are the successful people and what are their attributes, I would say that, they are professional in
Mm,
their attitude of what they're doing and in their business and in their health, everything. As you look at any successful sports person that we would say they're a professional. And of course, professional can be here to the very top. But the point is that if you're professional, you're not waiting until January 2nd. You're on the job.
mm,
Professional means doing it and not quitting and giving it your all. Just show up. Just show up. And if you just show up and you do it, like, have I done it? Have I put in a good effort? You don't even need to worry about perfection.
Right.
Perfection will take care of itself because of the repetition. So I love the fact that you're very cognizant of that and that how much easier it would be to not wait until January 2nd.
Yeah. It's like and I don't know if you've probably heard of 75 hard.
Mhm.
And there are a lot of things about it that are great, but then there's some things about it. One big one is like 75. Well, what happens on day 76? Why am I putting an end date on my health? Why am I putting a future beginning date on my health? Same thing. Let's start today and start knocking out the habits and building the skills and the mindset and the identity around all this. And then it's not a January 1st thing, it's a today thing. And
I
I
think that's
always think
awesome.
like I'll start Monday. What happens on Monday? Like why not? It's Thursday today. Let's start today. You're losing 4 days by starting on Monday right now. So,
Right.
yeah.
Although I will say that if you haven't been in that mindset of being really professional for yourself and doing the best that you can, it can take a little adjusting.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think that having a community of not being by yourself and having
Mhm.
someone who is going to say, okay, let's take these steps. Now, this is how, and now go do it. That's really helpful.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up because that's a reason why I'm making this a group thing. And I've done group sessions in the past that have done very well for that exact reason. We're all going through this together. On day 3, we're all doing the same day 3, right? On day 15, it's all the same day 15. And you mentioned there the starting out kind of small and building up over time is like, I'm not going to say go run 10 miles on day 1. We're not going to do that on day
Right?
21 either, but unless that's what you want to be doing. But you don't start by running a marathon, you start by walking a mile. And then
Love it.
eventually,
I
or
love
maybe
it.
even a half mile, right? And then eventually you run a quarter of that mile and
Mhm.
you walk the other 3 quarters. And then you run a mile and then, right? And you progress to running a marathon. If you've never run 20, whatever 6.2 miles before, you don't just go out and take that on. You
Right.
take it, as Pace would say, you take down an elephant, you one bite at a
One
time.
one bite at a time. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's interesting that if you've done sports like in high school or college, things like that, you might be feeling like, "Oh, I have that muscle. I just haven't
Mm,
used it." I do remember, but not everybody does sports in their youth. So truly understanding how and, not being judged for not having been at a marathon, but being judged on the fact you're willing to try and to
yes.
commit. I think that is really going to help a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love dads, right? I love helping dads out. I love helping former military out, veterans out for those kinds of reasons that a dad you can touch on, hey, you're doing this for your kids, right? They have a little bit more deeper why. The veterans, you go like, look at all that you did when you were in the military.
Right.
But there are a lot of people that come from, like you're saying, I never did sports. I've never been an athlete. Let's switch that mindset around, right? What is it that you love? Okay, well, in order for you to be able to do that for a long term, we got to get you healthy.
Yep.
And so we're going to take it one step at a time. And really, like, if all you did every single day was walk, you're in a really good place. Like, of course, we want to
I
be
know that
doing some
one.
strength. Yeah.
In August, I'm looking at my chart, 672,000 steps.
Okay.
I
That's,
was starting to think
wow.
I was crazy a little.
Yeah, that's
I
like a
lost
lot of
15
steps.
pounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would
And
imagine right now you're taking a few, at least less outside steps.
oh my God, I'm sorry. I have to look past the camera to see the
Yeah.
flakes. They're this big.
Yeah.
It's just Chicagoland is very
Yeah.
cold.
I
You're in
see.
Florida, right?
I'm in South Carolina and it's
Oh,
it's
South Carolina.
been it's been below freezing. Like I don't need to quote it. Technically it has been below freezing, like 29. I love it. I just get upset sometimes when it's below freezing and it's not snowing. It's like, man, if it's this cold, I want it to be white on the ground. I don't need 20 inches of snow, but just a little covering, a little dusting.
I hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you. What do you say to the person that has been involved in, let's say, habits that they know are not serving themselves
Mm.
right from an earlier age, like high school, and they might be in their 30s or 40s or 50s, whatever. and they know they're smoking a bit too much
Mm,
or smoking or having a couple of drinks a day, that sort of thing. And if they're listening to this and they're watching and they're going, man, forget it. That's just too far away from where I am. How do I get from here to there? I can't
yeah.
see that. How do you break that down for them? How do you encourage them to actually come and where do they start?
Yeah, well, that's a very difficult one, Effie, because I think it's really different for each individual, and it would be a long, maybe not a long conversation, but a back and forth conversation where we kind of go deep into why you would even want to stop this habit anyway. Coming from, I was a smoker. I smoked when I was in the Marine Corps and
Okay.
then many years afterwards. The one thing that actually ended up for me, which oddly enough, it was the cost of it, like the
Oh,
actual monetary cost of smoking. Man, I'm spending, I forget what it was at the time, and it's probably tripled since then, but like I'm spending $40 a week on these. Man, that's $2,000 a year, whatever the number is. My math is wavering.
yeah, I
But
understand. That's a
yeah,
lot.
so, like, wow, what could I do with that? Okay, and then so for me, it wasn't going. I tried a couple of different ways of quitting. I ended up, I had like 17 packs of cigarettes in a pack, and I just crushed them up. Was like, that you're throwing money down the garbage, like down the drain. Throw it down, throw it away, and don't do it again. There's other people that I've helped that, they went from, instead of smoking a pack a day, hey, how about you smoke 15 today? Not 15 packs, 15 cigarettes. Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
kind of slowly wean it down to the point where it was like, what is your favorite cigarette? Is it the first thing in the morning cigarette? Is it the afternoon or like after a meal cigarette? That's your one cigarette you get. And then eventually you just go like, I don't even need this. It doesn't serve me anymore. And so it's that kind of, why would you want to quit this in the first place? And then what are we replacing it with? And why doesn't this unhealthy habit, be it cigarettes, alcohol, 100 ounces of sweet tea a day, like whatever that kind of unhealthy habit is, and I don't need to quote that, but
They're vices, right?
yeah, what are we feeding into that? And you could put non-consumption things, physical consumption. I say, like, you're scrolling social media for 4 hours a day on there. That's not the
I think
healthiest
that's
habit
that's
either.
the epidemic right now.
Mhm. And that's like, I hear a lot of men that say, "I don't have the time to work out. I don't have the time to plan my meals and eat healthy." And then you look at their day and you're like, "Well, you were on YouTube for 4 hours today. You spent 2 hours on Netflix tonight." I'm not saying give it up completely, but there's a half an hour, there's an hour there where you could have gotten outside and got some movement in. You could have prepped a meal for the next 3 days, and now you have healthy meals that you're not making, spur of the moment poor decisions at lunchtime tomorrow where you're like, well, shoot, I don't have any food. Well, McDonald's is right across the street. At least I get something into my body.
Yeah, yeah. It is interesting, isn't it? I myself had announced a few weeks ago, I guess 2 weeks ago, that I was going to have a hiatus from social media. And it was a little miracle that I saw your message to me
Hmm.
because I'm only going on to post. I'm still doing the podcast, but only to post on a few different things. And that's when I happened to see it. And the first 3 days, I was just like, okay, okay, wait, what am I missing? What? Wait, wait, wait,
Yeah.
wait. I felt lost. And I, after that, realized that I actually feel light. I
Yeah.
actually feel like I have more time. And then I looked at the history and I was like, dang, girl, you do have more time. So,
Dang, girl.
yeah, it's funny. It's just funny. It's interesting to see because we can make excuses for vices. You
Hmm.
know, I have the podcast. I'm a presence on there. I like to feel connected. Yeah. Okay. So what have I done in lieu of that? I have actually increased allow myself to text people that I haven't texted for a while and truly start a conversation.
Yeah.
And that I think like I'm only allowing like 4 a day, but still that's 4 a day I wouldn't have done because I would have seen them on social media and I would have just dinged them, so am appreciating that a lot more. And the phone, I'm talking with people, but I'm also doing my work.
Yeah.
So
You freed up.
yeah, it is interesting to see.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And you're a very big leader in our community and as a whole when it comes to fatherhood also. Do your children play a part in your decision making on, staying fit, physically and mindset wise?
So, and I that is it's you mentioned the I think you called it a teeter-totter. I call it a seesaw, early on, and I was thinking, there's a growth aspect to it too, and on the upside, it doesn't have an end. It goes off to infinity. On the downside, you have, "I'm not growing. I'm stuck here down at the bottom." And I see myself just, especially on the mindset side with fatherhood, constantly growing. Every single day, I'm getting tested. And every single day I'm noticing places where okay, that's a growth point. You can do better right there. So yes, to answer your question, from the mindset side of things, 100%. From the physical side of things, I joke about this, but it's all jokes are born in a little truth, is that I don't work out for abs. I do a little bit. I like looking at like myself in the mirror with little veins. Right? I don't work out for all these things that I did in my 20s and even my early 30s, exercise-wise and nutrition-wise. They're on the back burner now. I work out so I can dominate my kids in sports for as long as physically possible.
I
And it
love
is true. Like, they're at the point right now. They're, Harland, who our your and I very first conversation with, I think he was just starting to walk and he was babbling, and we had a cool conversation about how to nourish him, coming up into that. He's almost 5 now. He'll be 5 in February, and Huxley's like 3, not like 3. He's 3. So they're still at the point where you let him win, kind of thing. But Harlan's coming to that point where it's like, no, no, you're going to have to start earning this stuff, dude. Right? Dad is
love
going to dominate you, and he's going
it.
to be a big kid. So like, I gotta work on myself as long as I can. Because if he wants to play basketball, if he wants to play sports, like, there's going to come a point where he is going to dominate me.
Oh,
And
that's so funny.
yeah, and I grew up not that my dad wasn't really physically capable of playing sports with me. He just didn't, and I want to. If they want to play sports, I want to physically be capable. I'm older. I'm an older dad. I'm 41. My kid, my oldest is just about to turn 5. And so when he's 15, I'm going to be in my early 50s, right? And so I got to make sure that by the time I'm 50, I want to be
Yes.
better off than I am today. I don't want
Yes.
to be, so that's why, I mean, long story short, yes, that's why.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think that it does. Even as a grandparent, because Samantha is 3 years and 1 month.
Hmm.
And she still comes running at me like crazy, when we first meet. And I love her. And I don't want to say, no, no, grandma's too fragile.
Yeah.
I still pick her up, and I'm like, okay, I got to train with real weights.
That's right. I
Because,
train with the kids. Actually, I just wrote it down. I couldn't when we laid down last night, I couldn't sleep. I had these ideas for little pieces of content in my head, and one that I wrote down was how to work out with your kids. Because Harland loved being thrown up in the air, but he's 50 plus pounds now, so I can't like really launch him like I used to. And Hope is so little; she's 1, that like I could launch her way up in the air, but she's little. She can't. Huxley's right in that sweet spot, the 3-year-old, where I can really launch him and he really enjoys it. And so I'm going to do like a little progression video, like how to work out with your
nice.
kids launching them. Because
Awesome.
just throwing your kids up in the air, like if you're really trying to throw a 3-year-old or, a 40-pound kid, it's a good workout.
You're not
And
kidding. 'Cause you gotta
yeah,
catch 'em.
and
You
so
can't
like,
let 'em fall.
yeah, toss them up there, hold them like a
Yeah,
baby, and do some squats and lunges and stuff. Do some
right?
push-ups. Let them sit on your back. Like, there's things that you can
Or on your
incorporate that.
legs and yeah,
Yeah, and they love it. They get a kick out of it, and then they're seeing that, dad, mom, they take this seriously. This is life.
yep.
It's not just
And
like,
that you're physically interacting with them in a
mhm,
true way.
yes,
That's a great idea. You
yeah,
could start with the 1-year-old as the warm up,
mhm,
and then you move to a higher level of intensity with
yep.
the 3-year-old, and with the 5-year-old, it's just a little weight training, guys.
Yeah,
Don't
this is your
overdo it.
working set. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
That would be a very good thing for other dads to do, and you're fit enough to be able to. So that's awesome. That's
yeah.
really, really good. So I am glad that you have your full name on screen. Where can people reach out to you?
That is really the best way. My Instagram, I'm the most active on, but if you search my name, it's Hovsepian
And how do
on
we, is it,
any platform.
how do we pronounce it?
Hovsepian.
Hovsepian.
Yeah, though the I-A-N at the end is pronounced like Y-I-N. So it's 3 syllables. Hov, Sep, Yin.
Ho
That's a
Hovsep
little, yeah, that's like the Armenian. If it's Armenian, if you see I-A-N on the end of a last name, it's pretty much Armenian, and it's
Alright.
pronounced Y-I-N.
Very nice. Yeah, mine's so bad I don't even use it.
That's
Mine's really bad. Yeah, so that's okay. Effie is enough.
yeah, that's right.
So, definitely, reaching out to you through IG is the best thing.
That's the best way, and if you wanna be a part of the 21-day Reforge, we're gonna have a kickoff call on the 8th or the 9th, depending on schedules, but
Okay.
day 1 is the 10th. If that's something that you wanted to be a part of, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, if you DM me the word Reforge or you go to one of my more recent reels and just comment on Reforge on there, I will get you hooked up to however, to being a part of it. It's gonna be, like I said, something every single day. You're also gonna be part of
Nice.
the community that I've got, the Brotherhood community. There's a couple different chats that you'll be a part of, just so we
Oh.
can build that cohesion there and really grow together. Because that's what this is all about. Like,
Oh, yeah, we definitely need a chat, because
mhm.
in my case, it would be, "Guys, I fell down. Can someone come and get me?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have local EMTs ready and waiting for you.
No, I recognize it's a fathers group, and I think that's great. That's absolutely awesome. But it is important to be able to have the support so that
Mhm.
you can say, "What do I do? I twisted this, or I hurt that," or
Yeah.
and
Like,
to
I'm
learn
I'm
from each
stuck
other.
today. I did this with my kids, or, I was out and a lady looked at me funny and I yelled at them and like, okay, well, here, how are we going to approach that differently next time? Because we can't let those things affect our day. There's too much coming at us at any given moment to let that affect our day. I could go down a rabbit hole though with all this stuff, Effie. You know me. I love talking about health and wellness and mindset and all that stuff. So
Well, I
we
think
can,
it's
yeah.
pretty fantastic, to say the least. And I will also say that I think that if you are watching this, hopefully it'll be before, like, it'll be posted next pretty quickly to
Hmm.
get it out there. But, you know, the idea is that if you can take the steps, the first steps, which Nathaniel is inviting you to, and opening the doorway to make it easier, and you're in the uh, community, a small community, then you can start taking better steps towards your entire life. And I know we're talking about getting a jump start on 2026, but I also know that you are a professional, that you have taken this on for good.
Hmm.
And as a result, the people that will come in touch with you, I think that's contagious. And I think that when they examine their situation and they have a little bit of help and support, that they too can become professionals. And, we're not taught how to really be professionals in school. And I think that sometimes when you strive for being a professional, that even those that are close to you sometimes can almost sabotage you because they are not used to you doing that. They want you to remain the Friday night drinking buddy they've always had, and this unspoken deal that you're going to always be at that level.
Yeah.
And Pace talks about this, and I'm sure you've faced it. I know I have. When you start to escalate yourself by pushing and doing the work and expanding and grinding sometimes and such, there can be people that are like, "What are you doing? Who do you think you are?"
Yeah.
Um, and that is so not helpful,
Mhm.
but it is a little bit of the price you have to pay to get to where you want to go.
Yep.
It's
Yeah, it is unfortunate. It is an unfortunate part of growth that sometimes the growing is the shedding, is the leaving those
exactly.
pieces behind.
Yep, exactly. So I encourage you guys to reach out to Nathaniel and follow him. He's a hoot. It's a lot of fun and a really good example.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So you know, I encourage everybody to do that. Any last words at this time?
I think we covered quite a bit here, Effie. I just, a lot of people that are seeing themselves and looking through the lens tend to think, "Oh, we're broken." And even in the example that you just were mentioning, like, less than. you're not broken. You are capable. You're absolutely 100 capable of becoming the person that you want to become. It's just setting that intentionality behind it. It's becoming that new identity of the person that is whatever you want to be. And then putting the pieces in place, the small little steps. So just know that you're capable, like you're worthy of it. And if you need a guide, there's a lot of guys out there.
Absolutely. And I think
Yeah.
Nathaniel would be a very good one to follow,
Thank you.
help you celebrate those small wins to build and grow. And
Mhm.
you're in really good hands with him. So I
Yeah,
want to say thank you, Nathaniel, very, very
appreciate it.
much. And we shall see you all next week. Take care.